Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. So for those who are new to the channel, my name is Sean, and I created this channel ultimately to have my say on particular movies and TV shows, as well as look at other film content and things I enjoy in regards to cinema. Anyway, today I'll be reviewing Werewolves Within. This was a film that sort of came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard about it, I hadn't even seen a trailer. I didn't even know anything about it until it landed in the list of films coming out at the cinema. And this is when I became interested in it. And I have heard nothing but good things about it. So I had sort of high expectations for it. And I didn't know what to expect going in. So the film really focuses on Finn, played by Sam Richardson. He's a newly arrived forest ranger into this small town known as... The film was directed by Josh Rubin and stars Milena Jovovich, Sam Richardson, Harvey Gilliam, Annie Kruger, and a variety of others. The film really focuses on Forest Ranger Finn, played by Sam Richardson, who is assigned to cover Beaverfield, a small town where the residents are divided over a pipeline proposed by businessman Sam Parker. As Finn arrives in Beaverfield, he's struck by the uniqueness of the particular people that inhabit the town. He befriends Celia, a local postal worker. She introduces him to the people in the town and the town itself. Everything seems normal until they find a dead body. And ultimately it turns into this idea that Finn has to work out what's going on. Is there a werewolf in the town, or is it someone just doing it? And it's about him trying to get to the bottom of that while trying to protect the people in the town. And things get out of control, and it's ultimately becomes a whodunit type of film, and them trying to work out what's going on before it's too late. I was really impressed with this film. It was unique and original. It was quirky and strange, and I loved that. The humor was a bit offbeat, which I thought was fantastic. I thought all the characters were great, especially Finn and Celia. I think they're both interesting and fun characters. There's a lot of humor injected into the movie, which I really loved. I found it a very, very funny film. And I laughed at things that most people would probably find absurd, but I loved them. I thought it was very clever. It's well written. It's a lot of sharp and wonderful dialogue that I loved. I love the simplicity of it, set in this small town with a small group of people, with this sort of idea, is there a werewolf, isn't there a werewolf, and what is doing these things to the particular people in the town. I thought that was a great way to go about it. I like that Finn's our character into the world, posted here because of something that transpired in his previous job, and in the previous place he lived, and I kind of like that. And it's just about him seeing how strange these people are, but he's sort of strange himself, and so he sort of fits in a little way. I think Celia is great. She's sort of this post person, as she calls it, like a postman, and she sort of is new to the town as well as Finn. She's only been there a little while. And she's just a funny, unique character that we meet straight away, and there's a bond that forms between her and Finn, which I really like. And she's the one who explains everything to him about the town, who the people are, what's going on in the town in regards to the pipeline, which I really loved. You've got this sort of old, sort of crazy, scary mountain man who lives just out in the outskirts of town. He's really great as well, because you're not quite sure what to make of him to begin with, and he sort of becomes a fun and interesting character along the way. We don't see a lot of him, but we see him in important parts in the movie, and I like that. And he adds a lot of humor because of the straightness that he plays the character. There's some great suspenseful moments in it. I really like all the stuff regards to this sort of B&B that all the town end up at. They think it's better to stay together as a group than to go off by themselves, and it's about how they interact, and the tensions run high in these scenes, and there's suspenseful moments within these scenes as well, and one character in particular gets attacked, and the way that's filmed and put together I really loved. I just thought it was a unique take on the werewolf genre, and sort of trying to do something different. Trying to inject a lot more humor into these sort of werewolf movies than we usually see, and I thought that was really smart and fun. It's a kind of film you're not quite sure what's going on to begin with. There's this sort of a myth around werewolves that they talk about in this particular scene at the B&B, which I really liked. Strangely enough, this film was based on a VR game, which I thought was strange to take a VR game like that and make a movie, but I liked the people behind it and the actors they got. They're all pretty much great comedians, and they used to great effect in this film, and I really liked that as well. I like it was sort of set in this cold and desolate place. I thought that was great. I love the snow element. I like that this town sort of works, but you can't really believe everything that people tell you. They're not quite what they seem, and I thought that was great. In a lot of ways, it felt kind of like Knives Out if Edgar Wright had directed it. It just sort of has his quirkiness and his sharp cuts and just his uniqueness that we saw in Shaun of the Dead that's sort of injected here. But it also has that mystery element to it like Knives Out, which I thought was really interesting. Interesting way to combine both of those. And there's a lot of stuff that they put in this is sort of fresh and original and unique, and I like that. I found it so funny. I laughed so hard all the way through it. I thought it was just such a refreshing film and such a great and entertaining movie. It's definitely going on my top 10 of this year. I just thought it was great. The only criticisms I guess I would have for the film is some of the sequences are really dark, and I know some of them take place at night time, but it's really hard to see what's going on. And that's kind of the only thing I didn't like about it. I just thought it was one hell of a ride. It was so great. Final thoughts. In the end, it's really about how we struggle internally in a lot of ways. I know this might be a little deep for a film like this, but it's like how we struggle internally, and you know how they talk about two wolves, the one you feed is the one that grows, and I kind of think that that's what they're going for here. Pretty much everyone in the town isn't quite nice, it isn't quite what they seem. These people are the wolves within. The wolves are within them, and they're sort of kind of characters you can't ultimately trust, and you don't really know what their motives are sometimes. It also takes on the idea of the werewolf and what that can look like. I'm going to give Werewolves Within 4 out of 5. I thought this was great, entertaining, well written and put together, and a very solid movie, and I highly recommend it if you like something a bit different, and if you're a fan of horror comedy like I am, you'll get a lot out of it. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Follow me on Facebook and Letterboxd. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.